Hey folks, welcome back. We just got barely a rain shower. It was sprinkled just enough to cool it off. It lowered the humidity, so that's good. It got up to 93 today. What is it now? It's 81, so it's cooled off 10, 12 degrees. It feels super nice out. So I think what I'm going to do is to show you an update on my woods yard planting, that trial planting area, and the community garden, which I started calling it the ditch garden because it's in a ditch, right? So what I'm going to do is take you off the tripod and take a nice relaxing walk. So here's an update on the mustards that I planted out of the grocery aisle store, right? The mustard seed in the spice section. I thin that out to 6, and as it grows, I'll keep thinning it out to 1 or 2 plants. I want to see how tall that gets, and I also want to see how much seed it produces. So there's that. This one over here just got laid down by the rain, but that needs to be thinned out, right? That's just over a week since I planted that, so that's pretty good. I would say 90+% germination. I'll thin that out as well. That is very spicy. Even when it was about 2 or 3 inches tall, it was extremely spicy. So, and as it gets bigger, it'll either mellow out, but mustard tends to be even spicier the older it gets, right? So here is the community garden. Everything's looking good. Everything's a little behind, but we're getting cucumbers. We're getting pole beans. Now, there has been an addition. Someone on the road donated 4 fruiting tomato plants in pots. They should go in the ground, but they're doing pretty good. I've just got lids or something underneath to catch the water when it runs right straight down through. So it gets water, and the plants are saying that's good. So here's another one. This one's got 3 tomatoes on it. There's another one. Now, we've been picking cucumbers. That one's a good size to pick. The cucumbers over here were planted much later, and I'm doing the string method on these, and they look really good. But they're behind all the rest because they were planted late. Still plenty enough time, and they're still growing. Couple more there. I'm going to train one up the string, and one can just lay all over the ground. There's another tomato plant that was donated. Couple more cucumbers. More coming on. And for some reason, even though all the cucumbers are the same over here, for some reason, everyone's picking just these here. But there's more forming. That's good. The pole beans are doing good, getting about a handful a day. The more you pick, the more will. I don't want to touch them too much because they are wet. I'll touch one leaf. So the more you pick with beans, the more the plant will produce, right? So there's another handful or 2 that's ready to pick on this trellis here. And there is some yellowing down bottom, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. This is in the woods yard, and cucumbers rather enjoy it up here. They're doing really good. The pumpkins, although producing pumpkins, ever since I added that compost as mulch, the leaves started yellowing up. Not sure what that's about, but there's a pumpkin. Now, all the pumpkin plants up here look the same. And they didn't start doing this until I added compost, right? So that's where that's what I'm leaning toward, is the compost. The reason I say that is because they're yellowing. There's a cucumber plant. There's a cucumber plant over there growing out of the same mound, and the cucumbers look pretty good. Here is another pumpkin. Little pumpkin forming on. These were Connecticut field pumpkins. So, something about the pumpkin over here. Started out nice and healthy. I mulched. The next day, the leaves started yellowing. Coincidence? Maybe. And look at this cucumber plant. Nice and healthy. A lot of blossoms. A lot of small cucumber sitting on. Right there. There is something eating the leaves. Not sure what it is. I haven't found anything. But no, definitely no cucumber beetles. Cucumber beetles have not arrived here or in any of my other gardens. So here's another cucumber plant. It's looking really good. I've got a bean growing through up the center of it. Beans there. Now, the deer come through here every night, and they're not eating anything. The adults. The lambs that are with the does, they're the ones eating a handful of beans as they pass through. The mama is not even slowing down to take a nibble. This is according to the game camera. So the cucumbers really like the mulch. It doesn't mind this soil whatsoever. The pumpkins, not sure what's going on with those. Another cucumber plant. So I know the beans do exceptionally well up here, and the cucumbers do exceptionally well. So the pumpkins are producing. They're not looking all that great. So I've got to figure that out. But if nothing else, the beans, could always plant beans and cucumbers up here. If this area was planted in, if all that stuff was moved, and we decide to plant in here, this side of the tote road is not even worth bothering trying to plant in, from what I've been finding. And there's the tote road. Now those beans down there look exceptionally well. They're growing good in the tote road. But everything, most everything, on this side of the tote road appears to be worthy of trying to grow food. At least the cucumbers and beans like it up here, right? Here's another short row of assorted beans, and the deer have been nibbling on that, but they're not going overboard, right? So up here, I think it's not all that great soil either, and we're next to the road, the camp road, okay? What's growing good is over that way. And then I've got some cucumbers here that have been in the ground. These have been in the ground as long as those big established cucumber plants that have blossoms and small cucumbers. So quite a difference, right? That's even with compost. So up here doesn't look too promising. Down there looks really promising. Up here, underneath all that, all those old logs and stuff, treetops, I haven't tried to plant anything up there, so that'll be interesting. I know halfway up from there up to about there, things grow good, but I haven't tried to grow up here because it's just too many logs and hard walking. So, I know those pumpkin plants are not dry. I'm thinking either heat stress, because it does bake over here, or they just didn't like that compost that I put there, whereas the cucumbers did. Cucumbers can generally handle more nutrients than a pumpkin plant, so I might have overdone. I might have stressed out those pumpkin plants. I might have. But if we get a couple of pumpkins, that's all right. It's all a trial anyway, right?